Today we are going to talk about grieving the parent you needed but never had. It is going to be a conversation about grief that doesn't require death. Now, grief is not always caused by losing someone who died. Sometimes we grieve someone who is still alive but was never capable of giving us what we needed. Like you can grieve the parent who never protected you. You can grieve the parent who never listened to you, who never encouraged you, who never apologized, or even made you feel emotionally safe. This is a complicated grief because the person still exists, yet the relationship you needed may never have existed. A child naturally develops expectations of what a parent should provide. And that is safety, affection, guidance, acceptance, protection, and most importantly, reassurance. When those needs repeatedly go unmet, the child may spend years hoping that one day things will change. Perhaps one day the parent will finally say, "I understand." Perhaps one day they will acknowledge the pain. Perhaps one day they will become emotionally available. Adulthood can bring the painful realization that this day may never come. And that realization can feel like another kind of loss. Sometimes healing requires grieving not only what happened, but what never happened. Psychologically, this grief can be difficult because there is no funeral, there is no clear ending, and often there is no permission to mourn. Other people may say, but that's your mother. Oh, that's your father. As though biological connection automatically creates emotional safety. Well, it doesn't. Healing may involve accepting the limits of the relationship without turning those limits into a verdict about your worth. You can acknowledge that you needed more without spending your entire life trying to convince someone incapable of giving it. And you can build healthier relationships that teach your nervous system something different. That love does not have to be earned through suffering. Spiritually, grieving an unavailable parent can become an invitation to release the fantasy that healing requires receiving an apology. Healing requires receiving an explanation or transformation from the person who hurt you. Sometimes peace begins when you stop waiting for the past to become different. Acceptance does not mean approving of what happened. It means refusing to let an unfinished relationship keep controlling your present. In short, there is a particular sadness in realizing that you cannot go back and receive the childhood you deserved. But grief can eventually become freedom. You may never get the parent you needed, but you can become the safe, compassionate presence that your younger self spent years searching for. May people heal. Heal.